my fellow oddities, welcome to a new video. Today we are doing a continuation of the last video, which was doing a Mortal Kombat 12 predictions bingo sheet. This time we're going to be covering some of the community's bingo sheets and seeing if we can get bingo through those and through what I think personally will happen. If you haven't seen the previous video, which will be right up here, then I suggest that you do because it's very important to know the context of what we're going to be doing today. So just go do that, and for the people who have seen that video, let's get straight into it. So first, we're going to start off with the guy who started this whole trend, Brusque Poet. Here is his bingo sheet. So his first prediction is that the Shang Tsung Aftermath ending will be canon. I do not think this is going to happen. I think there's two possibilities which are more likely, and that's that the Liu Kang ending will be canon, or we'll just get something completely different, like just skipping over the last two endings, because that's something NetherRealm likes to do with their games, so I don't think this is going to happen. Next is that previous guests will be DLC again. I'd get it if it was like previous DLC just in general would be DLC again, but guests specifically, that's not going to happen. I don't know why they would do that, especially since licensing and all that will definitely be a big issue, especially for a character like Jason Voorhees. Oh lord. Next one is that the chapter formula for the story will be ditched. Not sure, really. It's kind of 50-50. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I'm leaning towards it'll probably return because, I don't know. Like, it's a very small section of the fan base that really hates this formula. So I don't think they're loud enough for NRS to actually care that much. And they're probably just going to do what's been working for them so far. Cole Young, no, that's not going to happen. Next is that the story doesn't follow the Great Kung Lao era. This is another 50-50 one. I'm honestly not sure. Because as much as I would want them to go back to the Great Kung Lao era, I'm not sure because NRS is always switching things up. But you know what? I'm going to give them a point here. I'm going to trust NRS that they will actually follow up with their last story ending, so I'm going to say yes, it will follow the Great Kung Lao era. Ash Williams, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. I think he's going to be a guest in Mortal Kombat 12 because we didn't get him in Mortal Kombat 11. We were supposed to, but we didn't, and I'm pretty sure he has all his assets, all his models and stuff fully done, so they can just import that into Mortal Kombat 12, just scale it up a little bit, make it more fitting to whatever the aesthetic happens to be in the next Mortal Kombat game, and I think he'll be a fitting guest character, especially since there is a Ash Williams movie where he goes back in time, so if it is Great Kung Lao era, it'll definitely be fitting. Breakers are back. Yes, this will happen. So many people complained about the breakaways that, like, if they just keep going with breakaways, then that would be crazy. I think either Breakers will be back, which is the most likely, or they're just going to have a completely new mechanic, which, I mean, we'd have to wait and see, but I don't like the idea of that. Next is that the first DLC pack has a trilogy-era character. Yeah, this will probably happen. I mean, Mortal Kombat 9 didn't really have DLC packs, but they did have Rain, and then Mortal Kombat X, of course. It had Triborg, which kind of counted, and there was another one, right? I mean, there was Tanya, there was Tremor, there was Bo Raicho, but they're not trilogy-era characters. I think Triborg is the only one. Pretty sure. Unless you count, like, Baraka Alien, but that's stupid. Then Mortal Kombat 11, I mean, of course, had Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, Sindel, Shiva, Melina, Rain. All those characters became DLC, so I'm fairly certain Mortal Kombat 12 will have a trilogy-era character for their DLC. Doomslayer as a guest character? Maybe. But I'm not sure. Like, guest characters are kind of hard to predict because you have literally no idea what negotiations they could be going through with certain companies. You have no idea what the relationship is with certain companies, and it also pertains to the fact that guest characters should probably have something upcoming, like a movie. I know there's a new Evil Dead, so that would fit with Ash Williams. A character like Ghostface, of course, there's a new Scream movie, which is coming out a bit soon, so not sure if Ghostface will be DLC, but they have to have stuff that's coming up. I'm not sure if there's a new Doom game coming up. I have no idea. Maybe there is. If there is, then it's more likely. If there isn't, probably not. But I'm probably going to say no to this one. Just because, I don't know, I haven't seen any evidence that it will happen. So I just gotta assume. Next up is a female Nightwolf. This is a very popular concept within the community, especially since the Mortal Kombat 11 ending had a female Nightwolf in it. And also, Nightwolf is, of course, a mantle, not a specific character or anything. It's something that's passed down generation to generation. And yeah, I think this will happen because Nightwolf is a character with a huge backstory, a huge lineage. So if it is Great Kung Lao era, then I'm pretty confident that Nightwolf will be in the game and also be female because I want to switch it up and make new characters. Crushing Blows return. I hope this happens. I said in a previous Where to Take Mortal Kombat 12 video that I think Crushing Blows should kind of replace X-Rays and Fatal Blows and those kind of super moves as just like the kind of new moment within the Mortal Kombat gameplay, because I think it just doesn't slow things down as much. It's just like boom, and then you go right back into things. It can be like a huge blow, and I just kind of like that within gameplay. I don't know. It's kind of like boxing in a way where, you know, you're fighting, there's all these normal blows, and then one big blow can just completely change the course of a match. But I'm not gonna fanboy about boxing right now. Crushing Blows, I hope they return, and I think they will. I don't know why they wouldn't. Initial roster is 30 or more characters. I'm not sure. Like, we've said in the past with Mortal Kombat 11 and previous NRS games that, oh, this is going to be a roster with 30 characters, and then NRS gave us like 25. So, you know, maybe this will finally be the game where there's 30 or more characters to start off, but I'm gonna say no. I don't think they're going to have 30 or more characters. I think it'll be like just under that though. I think there's going to be more than previous games, but not quite 30. So it'll be like 26 to 29 or something, like, which will probably irritate some people, but I don't know. That's just what I think. Tag team in the game. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to happen just because for some reason NetherRealm refuses to put this in the games, even though everyone is saying this will be such a fun game mode. It was so fun in Mortal Kombat 9, why not bring it back? And then NRS is just like, nope, nobody used it apparently. Okay, but people are asking for it, so obviously people are asking for it. They're probably going to use it unless it's not good, in which case that's your own fault. But I don't know how you could really mess up tag team that much. Like, yes, it was broken in Mortal Kombat 9, but it was still fun, so I don't know. I just don't think it's going to happen. Maybe they'll wait 1 or 2 more games. Maybe in Mortal Kombat 13 or 14, they'll finally reintroduce it. But not here, I don't think. Conquest mode, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to happen either. I don't think NRS is willing to change the basic story format of what they have. I think the most we're going to get for a conquest is like a crypt type of thing, which I had on my bingo sheet, which was kind of a mix of conquest and the crypt. I don't think we're going to get a fully fleshed out conquest mode like we did in Deception or Armageddon though. Meat as an alternate skin, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't know why it would happen. Battle Pass or Combat Pass, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think NRS would do that. I don't see them having a combat pass in the game. Just, I don't know. Maybe WB might force it on them, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Run button is back. I mean, I know a lot of people like the run button in Mortal Kombat X, and a lot of people were disappointed when it wasn't in Mortal Kombat 11. So I'm going to say, yeah, it'll probably be back. I never really used it in Mortal Kombat X because, I don't know, it's just not my play style, my way of playing Mortal Kombat. I like the more just basic movement that's in all fighting games, but, you know, I can deal with the run button because it's still functional without it. Motaro is finally playable. I think this will happen. I had this on my previous bingo sheet. Besides, I specified that it'll be a pre-order bonus. He does not, which is fine. Doesn't really matter. Motaro, yeah, I think they'll finally take a crack at it. Whether it's good or not is up to NRS and whether or not they want to be a good company or a bad company. Onaga is the main boss. I don't think this is going to happen because I do think most likely it'll be a Great Kung Lao era game. And so I'm not sure why Onaga would be the main boss in a game like that. It'll probably be Goro or Shang Tsung or maybe even Shao Kahn, someone like that. I think that's better than having Onaga, unless it's like a completely different story. Then you can have Onaga. I would love Onaga for a completely different story, for any other story that's not the Great Kung Lao era, because for one, I'm pretty sure Onaga was already dead by this point, but also just too big for a story that, I don't know, I think should feel a bit smaller in scale compared to previous Mortal Kombat games. Brand new super move mechanic? I don't think it'll be brand new. I think they'll either bring back Fatal Blows, or even better, bring back X-Rays. Maybe they might change it a little bit. Maybe they'll mix together Fatal Blows and X-Rays, so when you have 30% of your health left, you do a super move, but it's an X-Ray instead of a Fatal Blow. Maybe something like that. It's either going to be a mixture of the two, or it's going to be like just one of the two. That's what I think. Havoc returns, yeah, probably, because, I mean, people have been begging for Havoc, and it does make me concerned that he might not be on the main roster, but he might be DLC, because sometimes when people really beg for characters like Fujin, then they actually just lock him behind a DLC wall, which, you know, would suck to happen to Havoc, but, you know, NRS, WB, they're going to do their thing. Most or all face models for characters return. I hope this happens. Not sure why it wouldn't happen, but yeah, I do think it will, because, like, well, what's even the point of getting entirely new people to be the face models besides just to, like, I don't know, flex the fact that you have new faces? But I think, like, flexing would be even better if you had the same face models, because then you could compare Mortal Kombat 11 to Mortal Kombat 12 and see how much better the graphics are. So I do think this is going to happen. No gear, I don't think there's any way this happens, because gear, especially now, is so popular in games, and customizing your character is so popular in games. I don't know why they would just regress and go back to skins when you can make a character look how you want them to look. And if you want them to look like a previous version or a skin that's a preset, then go ahead, you can do that, but some people are going to want to mix and match, so I think gear should and will be in the next game. Internet connection needed for most offline content. It depends on, like, the main premise of Mortal Kombat 12. Like, if it's kind of a similar premise to Mortal Kombat 11, where it's gear and upgrading your character and then using them online, then probably. But if it's just more of a kind of centralized thing where it's more your character, you do your own thing, you go on your own journey, then I think it'll be not needed for Mortal Kombat 12. Now we have a bingo sheet from someone who replied to my bingo sheet with theirs, Himothy Hanzo on Twitter, so let's check it out. First is Kerry Tagawa returns as Shang Tsung. I don't think this will happen, just because they have to pay for his likeness for his face every single time, and also voice acting is a big thing. Getting him to voice act every single time there's a new Mortal Kombat game would be kind of ridiculous. So at most, I think they'll bring back his face and be willing to pay that, but overall, I don't think he'll come back. Next is a focus on the Red Dragon instead of the Black Dragon. Maybe this is a Great Kung Lao story. I'm not sure how far back the Red Dragon go exactly, but I do know they go back farther than the Black Dragon, so if there is a dragon clan in Mortal Kombat 12, it probably will be the Red Dragon, but I'm just not sure if there will be, so I'm going to say no for that. Crushing Blows return, we already talked about this, I do think they will. The story mode chapter system is finally replaced, we already talked about that. Both Liu Kang's and Shang Tsung's endings merge. Oh. Yeah, I've seen a few theories on this one. I think it might happen. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if, like, you're just going through the regular Great Kung Lao story, and then all of a sudden a giant overpowered Shang Tsung comes out of nowhere. But at the same time, I just don't really want more timeline and multiverse shenanigans and stuff, and so I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to stick with one of the endings, but if they do merge it, I won't know how to feel. Serena or Delia makes NRS debut. I think Serena will. I don't think Delia will, because Delia's never been playable. So I'm not sure why she would be in Mortal Kombat 12. Like, I get why the character would appear during this time frame, but I don't know why they would be like playable, because that would be strange. 30 to 32 characters at launch, already talked about this. I think it'll be a little less than that. Tag team, already talked about it. Blaze meet Chameleon, Chrome, or Hydro cameo. I mean, I'm sure one of those characters will have a cameo in the game. Probably not Chrome or Hydro, just because Chrome is a fan-made character. Hydro just isn't really a character they really mention or talk about anymore, besides for like little Easter eggs and stuff. Chameleon, maybe, especially if Reptile's in the game and they want to expand on his race. Meat, I hope so, because Meat is a super cool character that people need to respect more. Blaze, Great Kung Lao era, makes a little bit of sense, so sure, yeah, why not? Ash Williams, Redemption Arc. I'm not sure what Redemption Arc means, but yeah, I talked about earlier that Ash Williams will probably be in the game. Onaga as the main villain, already talked about it. I don't think so. Run Button, already talked about it. Conquest Mode, already talked about it. Breakers, already talked about it. Video game character guest as DLC. I could see this happening, but I think movie characters will just overall be more likely than any video game characters, just because they're more popular. They're going to appeal to a wider fan base than video game characters will. And there's just also more movie characters that are going to fit Mortal Kombat than there is video game characters, because like right now off the top of my head, video game characters, of course, Kratos, Doomslayer, probably some Resident Evil, Silent Hill characters, horror characters, but I don't know, they're just not as iconic as movie characters are. That's how it is. Havoc Masterclass. I think Havoc will be in the game. I don't know what Masterclass means, so yeah. Ketchup and Mustard return. Yeah, I don't think Cyrax or Sector will be in the game, because I do think it'll be Great Kung Lao era, so not sure how they would be there. Female Nightwolf, already talked about it. At least 8 3D characters on the roster. 3D era characters, not just 3D characters, because it'd be a little weird if it was just all 2D and then suddenly there's characters who are 3D. But I said in my last bingo sheet that I thought at least six characters would be on the base roster. 8, I think 8's a good number. At least 8. I think that's pushing it a bit. I don't think there's going to be 8. I think 6 is overall just a better number, than more accurate. Yeah, I'm dissing you. I'm better than you in every way. Timothy Hanzo. Some MKX to MK11 characters return. I think this is referring to characters like Devora, Kotal Khan, Collector, Cetrion. I honestly hope they don't come back, but at least one of them probably will. Some, maybe, probably. There's probably going to be like 1 or 2. Like maybe Aaron Black, because he lives for a long time. Not sure if it was Great Kung Lao era, but I don't know. It'll probably make up some excuse just because he is one of the more popular newcomers. Scarlet will probably be in the game. Though, didn't talk about MK9, so Scarlet technically is an MK9 character. Yeah, Devora would probably be able to be in it. Kotal Khan or some version of him will probably be able to be in it. So yeah. Yeah, probably. All the female Idenians return. So that's Katana, Melina. Does Melina count? Not sure. Jade, Tanya, Sindel. And I think that's it. Maybe. I don't think all of them will. I think most of them probably will. Like Katana, Melina, Jade, Tanya. Probably those 4. I don't think Sindel is going to be in the game, like I said in my previous video. Kentaro and or Goro remastered. I did already say that I think Motaro will be in the game somehow. So, yes. Ninjas received their Mortal Kombat 4 costumes. I personally think that they're going to receive pretty much all of their classic costumes, maybe for their 3D era costumes, but I do think most of their previous costumes will be able to be played. So, yeah. They will receive Mortal Kombat 4 costumes. Most MK11 face models return. Already talked about that. And there's that bingo sheet done. Let's get on to our third and final one. This one is by founder of Clown Nation, aka Sussed Emo on Twitter. And so let's get started with the first prediction, which it looks like a lot of these starting ones are just characters. So Chameleon and also female Chameleon right to the right of him. Maybe. I think at most they'll be DLC. I don't think they're going to be on the base roster, but doesn't specify if they have to be base roster or DLC. So yeah, I do think they'll be in the game at some point in its lifetime. Ash Williams, we already talked about this. I do think he will be in the game. Michael Myers, I don't think he will because they've already asked the Halloween people if he can be in Mortal Kombat 11. It was either Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat X, and they said no, so I don't think they're going to try again. Havoc, yes, probably will. Nitara has a pretty good chance, most likely DLC though. Ermac, yeah, pretty sure. Serena, yeah, pretty sure. Smoke, he hasn't been playable for like what, 2 games straight? I think it's like a 50-50 chance because he wasn't around during the Great Kung Lao era, but they might have like a different Enenra character. So yes, I'm gonna say Smoke will be in it in some capacity. Ashura, she should be in it, and I think she will be in it. So yes. Conquest Mode returns, already talked about that. Story mode / arcade endings elaborated on. Lore like Sub-Zero or Johnny's ancestors. Yeah, I mean, if I'm understanding what it is correctly, this is Great Kung Lao era, so yes, I'm pretty sure Sub-Zero and Johnny's ancestors will be elaborated on in their endings because they'll be the actual ancestors who are in the game. 1995/2021 movie skins. I already talked about 2021 in my last video and how I don't think they'll have movie skins. 1995, I don't think they'll have movie skins either because they already did it for Mortal Kombat 11. So like, what's the point besides just having like 2 more, like Liu Kang and Katana, and that'd pretty much be it. So I don't see the point of doing that again. Tag team mode turns. Already talked about that. Repeat DLC pack. I guess that would be just a pack of people who have already been DLC. I don't think that would be received very well, so I don't think that's going to happen. Base models from MK11 Return, I already talked about that. Onaga, already talked about how I don't think he will be in the game, and he won't be the main boss either. Alternate universes will be acknowledged. I hope not, but they probably will be acknowledged in some way. They'll probably be talked about, so yes, to some extent. 30 characters at launched. Already talked about it. A little less than that. Animalities returned. Yeah, that's a good prediction because Animalities and Harakiris are the only fatalities, the only finishing moves that haven't been brought back into the modern age because we have friendships, mercies, babalities, we have all of those stuff, brutalities, but we haven't gotten Animalities, so yeah, would be a pretty cool thing to bring back. Harakiris will probably just replace Quitalities at some point because that's just the smart thing to do. Modern Kung Lao plays a bigger role. Specifically Modern Kung Lao. So not Great Kung Lao. I don't think Modern Kung Lao is going to be in the game. Traditional costumes return with some gear customization. Yep, that probably exactly covers what I think about Mortal Kombat 12 and how they're going to handle customization. They're going to bring back costumes, but they're going to be presets, and you can mix and match those sets with other ones and kind of customize what you want your character to look like. So yes, that's definitely going to happen in my opinion, and I hope that happens because that would be a really cool idea. Triborg becomes canon. No, Great Kung Lao era, Triborg doesn't make sense. NRS characters like Cetrion, Garrus, Aaron Black, Takeda, etc. Return. I already talked about this. There'll probably be like 1 or 2 for those who make sense to be in the game, but characters like Takeda, Cetrion, Garrus, I don't think they're going to be in. And that's it for this video. Sorry that some of them went by a bit quick just because I had to kind of skip through some of the predictions that I had already talked about, and some of them were just kind of basic, like yes or no. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope I get to do this again because this was really fun. It was nice to see some other people's predictions and talk about other people's opinions instead of just my own for once. But yeah, I would love to do this again, and if you guys want to help me on that, then go to some of my socials in the description below and send me one of your bingo sheets. Create one, send it to me, and I'll definitely make sure to get some of your bingo sheets prediction lists on the next video if I make one, if you guys want me to. So yeah. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, give this video a like, and comment down below some of your predictions for Mortal Kombat 12. And with that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow Waddities. I'll see you next time.